Sharantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Srimatapadakam Sri Guru Vaishnavamsa Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sarana Raghunatham Tam Tam Sadivam Sadaitam Saudutam Parina Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Kamsa Namo Shripadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Vicharane Nirvishesha Shunvadi Paschatavesharane Vancha Karasavadavasa Pasansukeja Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gauraki Sindhama Hare Krishna Radha Sindhu Vingandu Darakate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gauraki Srade Vrindavaneshwari Vishnanuste Devi Pranamami Hariye Nirajal Nivasaya Nityaya Paramatmane Balbhadra Subhadra Vinam Jagannathaya Te Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare So, we'll discuss about how among all the processes throughout the whole world, how Krishna consciousness is best among all of them. So for that, we'll have some sort of comparative analysis of different religious paths. So certainly, among all the living entities, human beings are very special. Because human beings can think about right and wrong. So for example, all of you might have heard the biggest festival in India, that is Kumbh Mela. How many of you know about Kumbh Mela? So are there some people from Bangalore who go for Kumbh Mela? Nobody goes from here? So we find during Kumbh Mela, whenever it happens in any of the places, crores of people sometimes gather, 1.5 crores, 2 crores from all over India. But how many dogs gather there from different parts of India? How many cats gather there from throughout India? Why? They don't have knowledge. They don't have knowledge of religion. That is why Mahabharata says, Aha nidra bhayamyatanata samanita pasuvi narana dharmo hi tesa madhyo visheso dharmanina pasuvi samana. So eating, sleeping, mating and defending is common for everyone. But what human being can do is dharma. He can perform dharma, whereas others cannot perform dharma. That is a difference. And those who don't utilize their human form of life for performing dharma, Lord doesn't give them human form again. For example, on your friend's birthday, if you gift him a refrigerator and you meet him after, let us say, 5 or 6 months, and you ask your friend, so how are you using your refrigerator? Oh, I'm using so nicely. I put practically everything there. What do you put there? I put my toothpaste, toothbrush, soaps, sometimes shoes also. So if you hear that, what is the first thing which will come in your mind?
He is not meeting the purpose of the refrigerator. He is not fulfilling the purpose of the refrigerator.
He is not fulfilling the purpose of refrigerator. Rather than refrigerator, what should I have gifted him? Shoe rack or some other cupboard. Right? So similarly, this human form of life is given to all of us for self-realization. But if you don't utilize it for self-realization, God says, better give him shoe rack, give him animal body. So that's why even human beings among all the species of life, they are very, very special. They are not ordinary. Despite that, knowingly or unknowingly, if we see majority of the population of the world is not atheists, they are basically agnostics. So who are these agnostics? Agnostics means they have nothing to do with God. Even if you tell them God is there, they say okay, that's fine. You tell them no, God stays in this abode, let him be there, let us be here. Why do you disturb him? Let him do his work, let us do our work. So agnostics are those, for them it doesn't matter whether God exists or doesn't exist. And you see, majority of the people in the world, now they may be in different religions, they are basically agnostics. It doesn't matter to them also whether God exists or doesn't exist. Life is just going on. So such people are as good as animals. Now there are some people who have some sort of philosophy and then they become atheists. That's why I say even atheists are better than agnostics. At least they think about God. Even if they say that God doesn't exist, that means they're thinking about God. So we appreciate them for that. And these people have their own philosophies, own reasons why they don't believe in God. And some of the reasons you will find are pretty sentimental. As far as I remember, it's what Nietzsche said, who said that God is dead. But one of his statements, he is one of the famous atheists in the world. He's like a superstar or superhero for many, many atheists. But then what he spoke also, that if I could see a God who sings and dances, I would accept him as God. Not a God who tells that you go to heaven and you go to hell. There are a lot of beautiful talents in Bangalore. Bangalore was known as Garden City of India. Now it is known as Software City of India. No more gardens. So, so we are talking about Nietzsche. So he said, if there was a God who would be singing and dancing, I would have believed in that God. Unfortunately, he didn't come to our sport center here. You had singing and dancing God. Both Krishna and Mahaprabhu. Krishna dancing with Radharani. So we find such people atheists. And atheists have been existing since long time. Prabhuji was putting on one atheist in Vedic times also. His name was Charvak. No? So his philosophy was Hridam Krittva Gatam Pive Yavat Jive Sukham Jivet Bhasmi Bhuta Se Dehasya Kim Punarbhava Bhavet. So Hridam Krittva, borrow money, but Hridam Pive, drink ghee. Yavat Jive Sukham Jivet, because when you cook things in ghee, they become very palatable and tasty. So eat lot of things cooked in ghee. Why Bhasmi Bhuta Se Dehasya? This body is anyway going to turn into ashes. Keep upon our Bhavo Bhave. Who knows whether there is afterlife or not afterlife? People who are atheists. Now there are some more little evolved people among them. Those who at least believe in God. They believe there is some power. Some power is there. We may not know about him, but some power is there. Because they start contemplating in their minds that unless until there was an arrangement, how can we see that some people are born rich, some people are born poor, some people are born very handsome, some people are born very ugly. So how is it that we see some sort of pattern in the world? So there has to be a judge. There are laws of optics, there must be lawmaker. There are laws of gravity, that means there has to be a lawmaker. So these people do believe in some sort of power, although they may not know that power. Or it's like, no, they don't want to know that power many times. So these people are considered much more evolved. Now, more evolved than them are people who at least are obedient or faithful to some sort of faith. So they don't just believe in God, they believe in God's words, the path which He has given, and they also have faith in the people who are teaching that path or following that path. So then we have different religions in the world. Different religions are there. Now among them we'll find certain religions are very popular nowadays. It's like, so you can call them as Abrahamic religions. Those who come from Abraham. So they're basically Judaism, Christianity and Islam. So these three religions are pretty big religions in the world, especially Islam and Christianity. But we find in their philosophy that they don't have some basic knowledge which even ordinary Indian knows. We'll give some examples for that. For example, long hours, I think around 2000 or 2002, something like that, something around that era. So there was a tsunami. Right? It was 2000? 2004. The tsunami was there, and thousands of people who went to take some sea baths or go for excursion and end up in giving up their bodies. So there so many people died. And one of the small girl asked the top person of one of these religions that why did it happen? There are so many innocent children. So why did they die? Because these religions don't believe in afterlife. They believe in one life. So at least one should be allowed to either do good activity or bad activity before being punished for something. So why were they punished? And what happens to the child who is there in the womb of a mother and is aborted? He doesn't even get an opportunity to commit some or do some duty, perform some action. What about him? So some of them, what the answer is, no child in the womb, if they die, then they go to heaven. Because they have this concept of heaven and hell. And both of them are practically eternal for them. So one of our devotees was having debate with one of the person from that faith. She was telling, no, children in the womb, they all go to heaven. And he said, very nice, then kill all the children within the womb. All of them will go to heaven. So then he said, no, that is not right. Why that is not right? You do such a philanthropic activity of killing all the children in the womb. So when you don't have like a concept of afterlife, so that many of these questions remain unanswered. So this girl said, what about the child in the womb of their mother? Why they were killed? And this personality, on the top of this religion, she said what to do. It is definitely not God's work. It is the work of Saturn. So sometimes God wins, sometimes Saturn wins. But don't worry, definitely one day will come and God will win. And Saturn will be defeated. And this girl said, what if Saturn wins? So the point is that when we rule out this concept of karma, concept of afterlife, then even small problems in or small questions of life remain unanswered. So that's why this philosophy is, so even if you ask a rickshaw in India, his philosophy is more evolved. Like if you ask an ordinary rickshaw puller in India and you ask him, why are you suffering? What does he say?
I did some karma.
I did some bad karma. So this may look like a very simple thing, but we have to understand this simple philosophy is more evolved than the major philosophies of the world. Major philosophies of the world. So that is how the ordinary Vedic philosophy which we have is pretty evolved. So when we don't analyze it properly, we think it is not so evolved. So concepts like simple things like karma. There are many other questions which are answered by our philosophy. Like for example, what they call as concept of Saturn or concept of Maya. So we understand that Maya is under Supreme Lord only. But when you see that Maya is independent of Krishna, it's like Saturn on one side and God on the other side. Then what happens is, there is a challenging dual question which comes in front of people. What is that question? If God is all powerful, then he cannot be all compassionate. Because if he is all powerful, how can he allow, or if he is all powerful and all compassionate, then how can he allow his children to suffer so badly? So either he is all powerful or he is all compassionate. So maybe he is all powerful, but he is not so compassionate, that's why he allows his children to suffer. This is one possibility. Another possibility is he is all compassionate, but he is not so powerful. There is some other person also who is as powerful as God, and that's why he is not able to save his own children. Because the second one looks more appealing, so they have this concept of Saturn, who is as powerful as God, but they have full faith, suddenly God will win one day. So they say, don't worry, soon God will win over Saturn. And then the day of judgment or Qayamat, they have different names, that will come. And all the followers of God will go to heaven, and those who are not followers of God will eternally go in hell. But amazingly, these days have come so many times. In year 2000 they announced, day of judgment is going to come, all the people will fly in the air. And those who follow our path will go to heaven, others will eternally rot in hell. And all the people were like standing and waiting for 2000, nothing happened. And this has happened many times actually, it's not. So they keep on postponing that day of judgment. So when we rule out the law of karma, then all these questions come in picture. One more question which I practically saw in front of our eyes. I was once going in train, and one of the couple from one of these Abrahamic religions, now they were sitting there. So this man told to the lady. First he was talking to me, and then he told to the lady, just see this fellow, he is from IIT, and he became renounced. This lady was so upset. Because in their religion, Going to renounce order of life is considered the greatest crime. And producing children is considered the greatest religion. So she was really upset with me. She was telling me, you're not getting married? Are you a human being? But I don't seem so. I feel like I'm a human being. She was really so angry with me. But after some time, this both husband and wife, they start talking to each other. And this lady was saying that as we had heard, children are fallen angels. वो फरिश्ते हैं. They are fallen angels. But what type of angel we have got? This fellow, he keeps on troubling others, and he keeps on stealing things from here and there, even from neighbors, from his childhood. What a farista we have got. And both of them are laughing. So then I thought, these people are getting these questions because they don't have the law of karma. That things come from the past life. So when certain religions they rule out the possibility of karma, afterlife, or how Maya is ultimately under the Supreme Lord only. How Lord can be all powerful, all compassionate, at the same time there can be suffering in this world. So they just can't conceive that. It is not possible for them. At the same time, we talk about concept of God also. Within these religions, concept of God is hardly known. It's hardly known. It's like either they don't believe in form of God itself. They say no, God has no form. And even if they say that God has a form, they don't know what is that form. That's one of the reasons when it's Michelangelo who made this painting of God and man, right? When he wanted to make this painting, he went to many fathers and other people and he asked them, how does God look like? So they said, even we don't know how does God look like. But we know one thing, that he is very old man. So that's why he made a painting in which man is looking more handsome than God. You have seen that painting? It's like, God is giving finger like that and man is like holding. Man looks more handsome than God. So such a ghastly understanding of God. So they don't know Adam, Puran, Purusam, Navi Avanamsa. He's an old man, but he doesn't look old. He always looks like 16-year-old God. So they don't know what is form of God. And when you don't know the form of God, how can we talk about question of loving someone whom we don't know? Can we love someone whom we don't know? So there's a question of loving God. So that's why Prabhupada sometimes very boldly says that you go and tell them, ask them, okay, me and you, we have the same God. How can you have different God? And then when they say, yes, we have same God, then you ask them, what is the name of God? How does God look like? What is his address? What does he like? Who are his parents? Who are his relatives? What are his activities? They will not be able to answer anything. And then you tell them, if you want to know all of these things, come to our center. We'll tell you all these things. So that's why there is neither concept of God is very clear, nor the concept of karma is very clear. Rather, they don't believe in it. Rather, they have no answer to questions like, they say that if you follow our faith, you will go to heaven. Other fellow will go to hell. So then the logical question comes is, if somebody doesn't follow your faith, let us say, but he is truthful, honest, forgiving, tolerant, patient, he has all these qualities. How can you say that such a person will go to hell? He said, no, he doesn't follow our faith, he will go to hell. And within their own religion, they say, even if you are dishonest, you steal, you do murder, but you just follow our faith, sometimes no. Some Masiha from our side has already given his life for your sins. You can keep on committing these crimes. Doesn't look very logical, doesn't look very appealing. So, if we analyze them, then we can see how our philosophy within the Vedic culture is so evolved as compared to other philosophies. Now let us come to Vedic culture. Now within Vedic culture, we have different type of people here also. So there are some people who are called semi-gods. What is semi-god? Who says semi-god? Semi-god means I am only God. Or sometimes people say, why I am only God? He is also God, she is also God, she is also God, everybody is God. People really like it. But the point is, when everybody is God, then why do you have to go to hospital to diagnose whenever you get some disease? Your God is supposed to know that. Why do you have to run to toilet when you get loose motions? Why not to control it? You can't control motions and you are saying you are God. So he is helpless God. So there are many people like that who say save me God. Now a group of such people, I don't remember the name of city, somewhere in US, where San Francisco, some temple, I don't remember the name of the temple. There was Bhavati Sarupru, where the temple person that place, Prabhupada is happy. So there were these so many people who had put an advertisement there. The advertisement said, Jesus meditated and became the compassionate supreme. Buddha meditated and became enlightened supreme. Krishna meditated and became the attractive supreme. Now God wants you to meditate and realize that you are God. So our devotees, when they heard it, especially young devotees are very enthusiastic. They were so upset. So they came to Raman Sarupu and they started telling him to finish all these fellows. They're spreading Mayavad. And Raman Sarupu said that no, so many Mayavadis are there, why you have to worry about them? And people are troubling. And then finally, he said, okay, we'll go to the program. So all our devotees were sitting in first bench of the row for the program. So this was like an old little house, like a cave, with few candles on the table, and there are 4 speakers who were sitting there. And they started speaking, a lot of classes on how to meditate and what is meditation and this and that. For long time they gave classes. And after all the classes, they saw that these Hare Krishnas are sitting in front. So they wanted to make Hare Krishna into favorable people. Maybe they can join us and do meditation. So then one girl came with a golden photo of Krishna and she said that my Krishna is golden color. I can paint Lord with the paint of my mind. Some sort of philosophy. And then there was a time for question and answers. So then Ravindra Sarupru raised his hand. And he said, what is the question? He said, see, you said that Krishna meditated and became the attractive supreme. When Krishna was a few months old, he killed this demoness Pujana. So when did Krishna meditate? And all these 4 speakers, they start scratching their head. They start talking to each other to come up with some solution. And finally, all of them together spoke in unison. Said, words, words, words. Words, words, words. Words are the cause of entanglement in this world. Don't go by logic, don't go by words. Just meditate, that's all. And then our devotee said, for last half an hour, you were speaking so many words, they were not cause of entanglement. And now when we are asking questions, there is source of entanglement. And then there was like, we said, Okay, now go for meditation. That was the end of the class. So the point is that a lot of people they're called, who are they called? Semi-God. But more evolved than them is people who are like demigod worshippers. Demigod means it's like, no, you can choose any of the god and we call him God, no problem. So many times people don't want to tax their brain to really understand among them who is God and who is not God. So then they worship demigod. Like one of our devotees, he was trying to preach to his mother. And in our usual altar, any, you can say, Hindu altar, you'll find everybody's photo is there. It's like, no, you want to please everyone, no? Nobody should be angry. So all photos were there. And then mother, what she would do, she would put a bhoga plate inside and she would start ringing the bell. This devotee thought is the right time to catch my mother. So then he started asking mother, my dear mother, there's so many photos on your altar. Whom did you offer the bhoga? Mother said, ये ISKCON वालों ने तुम्हारा दिमाग खराब कर दिया. ISKCON fellow they have spoiled your brain. अरे you people take so much of effort to understand who is God, who is not God. For me, I don't put any effort. I take bhoga plate, I put in the altar, I ring the bell, and then I tell them, whoever is God, decide among yourself and eat it. I don't take headache, I give them headache. So there are people like that. Then God worshippers. They don't want to know unnecessarily get into the so much of hard work of analyzing who is God, who is not God. So a lot of demigod worshippers. Now among demigod worshippers also, again we analyze. Some people are there, they have some faith, some reason, and something from scriptures. So we'll find there are people who are like worshipper of Shiva, some of currently Devi is going on. Some people are seasonal also actually.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, weekly. Some people weekly, sometimes people are like yearly also. Currently, like Durga Puja is going on, then they become Devi worshippers. Ganesh Puja means Ganpati Moria, they become Ganesh worshippers. Once in a year during Janmashtami, they become Krishna worshippers. So they become different worship at different times. So there are people like that. But some people who have some reason and logic, at least they are true to one faith. So I would worship Devi regularly or Ganesh regularly or Shiva regularly. So like that there are people who are a little more evolved. So they have some knowledge of scriptures. Some knowledge of scriptures is there. But people who take shelter of proper parampara, only they are able to understand the difference between all these personalities. So then there are devotees. So devotees understand that it's not that we disrespect the demigods, but demigods have to be respected in their own position. It's like Home Minister is Amit Shah. Prime Minister is Modi. That means you are disrespecting Amit Shah and Modi. You are disrespecting Amit Shah. Why? You are saying both are same. Both are different, sorry. This is exactly how many people speak. Hey, you are saying no, Krishna is God, Shiva is not God. That means you are disrespecting. So it's not that we are disrespecting, we are respecting people in their own positions. So only those who go through the thorough analysis of the scriptures, learning from a proper Guru Parampara, then they understand that demigods are worshipped, but in their proper positions. So Prime Minister is Prime Minister, he should be respected as Prime Minister. Home Minister is Home Minister, has to be respected like a Home Minister. Chief Minister is also very powerful, he is also respected, but as Chief Minister. In this way, there is respect for everyone, but at the same time, there is some discrimination also. Some differences are there. Some roles and responsibilities are different. Like for example, Krishna has how many qualities? 64 qualities. Narayana has how many qualities? 60 qualities. Lord Shiva has how many qualities? 55 qualities. And living entities has how many qualities? 50 qualities. At maximum. At maximum. So all the demigods like Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varun, they all are different posts and positions. And they change 14 times in one day of Brahma. In one day of Brahma, 14 times the cabinet of all the demigods, they change. At the same time, one cannot become Shiva. Shiva is a different tattva, he has 55 qualities. And Lord Narayana or Lord Vishnu has 60 qualities. Krishna has 64 qualities. Because he is the original Narayana, Adyo Narayana. So among Vaishnava Sampradayas also, it is within our ISKCON movement we find the devotee of that clarity, which is whose position. So that clarity we will not find anywhere else. So many times in many, sometimes devotees are also there, but they don't understand the differences. Differences in rasas are there. So that's why among various philosophies we'll find Krishna consciousness is the best philosophy. And how has it evolved in recent times? We'll take some we can say flashback on that. So it's around 2500 years back or 2000 years back, you can say something like that. So that's the time when people started misusing Vedic scriptures. And till then, Vedic culture was prevailing throughout the whole world. That's why you find, whether in Iran, you find you saw that there was a Hanumanji's inscription was there on the top of the hill. You will find in the Volga river of Russia, Vishnu Murti was found. Indonesia, though, they say now that Islam is our religion, but Ramayana is our culture. So you will find all over the world the remnants of Vedic culture are still there. Remnants of Vedic culture. Even you will find very old monasteries or worship places. People are not allowed to go there. So some of the photographs show a god who stands in the circle with girls and dances with them. And God is same God. Who is he? So you'll find if you do some research. Actually, in my old laptop, which was stolen a few years back, I had all these PPTs with me. That's why otherwise I would have stored all these pictures today. So Vedic culture was everywhere. But what happened is in due course of time, people started misusing Vedic scriptures. And then they started having a lot of sacrifices in the name of God. That's why one of the islands, even something which was not conquered by which was unconquered by Islamic invasion, one of the islands near to Indonesia is still called Bali. This comes from the word Bali. So there are two religions there, Islam and Brahmanism. So still Brahmanas they are very fond of sacrifices. Devotees from Bali told me. Still they are very fond of sacrifices. So in the name of sacrifices, people are cutting these poor animals and slaughtering them. And that's why
Hare Krishna,
same as Buddha. But because people were misusing the Vedic script so much, that Buddha said, reject the Vedas. Reject the Vedas, follow me. Prabhupada said that in this way, Buddha cheated everyone. How he cheated? He said, reject the Vedas which are words of God and follow me because he is only God. So then he started promoting this philosophy of ahimsa paramo dharma, non-violence. Unfortunately, even today Buddhists, they don't follow non-violence. They're pretty much involved in so many violent activities. So Buddha did that. Now that was not like enough. Because if people don't take shelter of Vedic scriptures, they will certainly become very much degraded. So then Lord had to send someone who can establish the Vedic scriptures again. And for that reason, Lord sent Lord Shiva as Adi Shankaracharya. Adi Shankaracharya. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was having debate with Prabhupada Saraswati, Prakashanand Saraswati. Prakashanand Saraswati and his 10,000 disciples. So then he quotes from Padma Purana. Maya vadamasa sahasram prachannam vadam uchyate. So Lord Shiva tells to Mother Parvati that, my dear Devi, I will appear in Kali Yuga and I will promote this philosophy of covered Buddhism. That's what Mayavad. So Shankaracharya came and he practically defeated this philosophy of Buddhism, which is basically a voidistic philosophy. Both Buddhism and Jainism are like that. Voidist means that ultimately you merge into nothing. It's like a voidist. You don't merge into nothing. Nothing is there. Nothingness. So it's practically called spiritual society in one sense, because you lose your existence. So then they call it Tirthankar and they have other concepts. We will not go into detail of that. So then Lord sent Lord Shiva as Shankaracharya. So he either defeated them by arguments through logic, and those who were not like agreeing to logic also, because logic only needs some platform. So he removed them by making these akhadas. Akhadas are there. So they were forcibly removed. And that is how Vedic culture was established in India. So Shankaracharya said, why are you saying that everything is nothing? Not we don't turn into nothing, we turn into something that is zero. Zero means nothing only. But then at least he said that whatever you are speaking is also given in the scriptures. So he interpreted the scripture in such a way as if becoming zero or merging with that Brahman is goal of life. So then people said, okay, same thing which we are following is given in the scriptures in the Vedas, let us accept the Vedas. So that was like a train going on the wrong direction and took a U-turn. But still had to progress. Because we don't merge into nothing. And then after that, Lord sent his own representative as Anant says. That is Ramanujacharya. So we had Vishnu Swami, then Ramanujacharya. And they came up with philosophy which was defeating the Mayavad philosophy of Shankaracharya. At the same time, it was pretty accommodative also in one sense. So Ramanujacharya, what was his philosophy? His philosophy was that Jiva is like God, but it's a bit different. And he gives the example of a wave in an ocean. So when we have a wave in the ocean, then you cannot say wave in the ocean is not ocean. It is ocean, right? Wave in the ocean is ocean. At the same time, can you say wave is the entire ocean? So he said similarly, Jiva is God, at the same time not God. Jiva is God in the sense it is part and parcel of God, but at the same time it's not God. So then further things evolved, and then we have Nimbarkacharya and other acharyas came. And then we had Madhvacharya. He said, what is this? Huh? Jiva is like God but not God. Be very clear. No. God and Jiva are different. As if Shankaracharya shows one finger and he shows two fingers. Jiva and God are different. So what Shankaracharya had done is, then in scriptures there are statements which talk about similarity of Jiva and God. And there are statements in scriptures which talk about dissimilarities between Jiva and God, the differences. So what he would do is, he would either underplay or he would misinterpret through word jugglery those words of the scripture in such a way that it shows that Jiva and God are one. But then what Madhvacharya did is, he did opposite. He was a super scholar of Sanskrit. So what Madhvacharya did is, it's like he showed that how even these statements show that Jiva and God are different. And finally, Lord came as Lord Chaitanya. And he gave this highest philosophy of Achit Veda Tattva. How Jiva is simultaneously one with God, at the same time different from God. So qualitatively we are same with Lord, quantitatively we are different with God. Like qualitatively we also are full of knowledge and Krishna is also full of knowledge. But even in the perfected stage, Jiva never becomes full of knowledge. Jiva never becomes full of knowledge. For example, now even if you bring a pure devotee who has realized his relationship with Krishna and you ask him, Maharaj, how many cement bags were required to make this building? What will Maharaj say? Absent inquiry. If you want to ask something about Krishna, you ask from me, not at how many cement bags were required to make this building. But Krishna can tell. So that means Jiva is full in knowledge for whatever is required for him. It's like, no, this glass is full of water and ocean is also full of water. But glass is full of water in its own capacity, and ocean is full of water in its capacity, which is very huge. So similarly, we are qualitatively same with God, but at the same time quantitatively different from God. So that was the most evolved philosophy. But even after Lord Chaitanya came, he appeared in this world, and the preaching started. Preaching doesn't go much beyond the boundaries of India, borders of India. Majority it went only in the boundaries of Bengal and Odisha. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and told that no, my name will be sung all over the world. And when devotees heard that, some of the devotees might say that whole world means only Bengal and Odisha. They thought it like that. Of course, many of our Narottam Thakur preached in Manipur, Tripura, which became Vaishnava states. So there's a lot of huge preaching which we can't imagine. But in due course of time, because devotees were much engaged in their own purification, hardly any preaching was going on. So over the years, down the line, what had happened is that many of these things were lost. Hardly any preaching were there. So although Lord came as Lord Chaitanya, but majority of people in the world didn't knew Lord Chaitanya. That was the situation. Although as far as Bengal is concerned, when Britishers came to India, practically every house of Bengal had deity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nityananda. But outside Bengal and Odisha, hardly anybody knew about Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda or personalities like that. Hardly they knew there's something called Hare Krishna. So that was not well known. But then one of our acharyas came, whose name was Bhaktivinoda Thakur. So when Bhaktivinoda Thakur came, initially he didn't have much faith in even Krishna. He thought that how can he be a god who dances with other men's wives? And he went through all sort of religions. He learned the books of Abrahamic religions. He even followed this Brahmo Samaj of Radha Ram Mohan Rai. Because he along with Radha Ram Mohan Rai, they abolished Sati Pratha from India. So in history books you will find his name as Kedarnath Datta, one of the personalities who abolished the Sati Pratha from India. So he did a good work and he accepted to a degree his philosophy of Brahmo Samaj. So he did all these things till he came through this personality called Lord Chaitanya. So he liked the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya, the way he was promoting. But he was not able to understand one thing, that how can this great sannyasi Lord Chaitanya worship Krishna who dances with other men's wives? Because Britishers at that time, they would criticize the Vedic culture by saying that your God is either immoral like Krishna or he is ghastly like Kali. So then that is how they would promote their own religion in different schools at that time. It took around 7 years, that's what I know, for Bhaktivinoda Thakur to get a genuine copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So when he went through this book Chaitanya Charitamrita, he understood the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya very nicely. That is the time he understood how great and evolved is this philosophy given by Lord Chaitanya. But now he wanted to promote this philosophy. When he wanted to promote this philosophy, he found majority of the people promoting this philosophy were deviants. They call it Apsampradaya. So there are people with such philosophies we can't even imagine. So there are some people who are called, I can give some examples. Some examples are not worth quoting also in this assembly. Like there was one philosophy, they said, Beta Hari Hari Hol, Magar Masij Hol. So if you chant Hari Hari, name of Hari is so powerful that whatever sins you can think of committing can also be destroyed. So Hari Hari's name is so powerful that you can commit all the sins. For example, Magar Masij Hol. Whenever your belly becomes very hot, take this particular fish. It will cool your belly. You can keep no women on your lap and just chant Hari Hari and you get perfection of life. There was one more group. And their philosophy was, I'll tell you background and you'll understand it more. So they misinterpreted one of the verses of Lord Chaitanya, which I discussed in the morning time, in the morning class. Somebody remember that verse? So, you can quote, you speak loudly. असत्संग त्याग एक वैष्णव आचार स्त्री संगी एक साधु कृष्ण भक्त. So how they would misinterpret it, they would say that who is a Vaishnava who gives asana of non-devotees. Who are non-devotees? Stri sangi ek. One who has one wife is a non-devotee. He is condemned. That's why at least you should have 2 wives. So you can have 2, 3, 4, 5, but not one. One is not allowed. Since this whole sampradaya, they would at least have 2 wives. Sometimes more than 2 also, but not one wife. So all such nonsense was going on in the name of saying that we are followers of Lord Chaitanya. So when Bhaktivinoda Thakur saw that, and these people were practically, they filled the whole of Bengal and Odisha. So for Bhaktivinoda Thakur, to remove these people was so difficult. So he practically had sleepless nights. He had sleepless nights. So hardly he would sleep for 2.5 hours. He would write books. He would make organized efforts to promote Vaishnava culture, Vaishnava philosophy. Single-handedly, he was running around 300 centers. So really such a hard work. But all these people had occupied all of Bengal and Odisha in such a way that finally he prayed to Lord Jagannath, please send your way. Who can help me? And then at that time we got His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Gopal ki Jai. So then we got Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that in order to accommodate these people, so actually Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a very difficult task. The difficult task was that one side whole world didn't knew the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya, and top of that there are a lot of people who were promoting Lord Chaitanya wrongly. So that's why those who were from respectable families of Bengal, they would never take to Vaishnavism. They would never become Vaishnava. For them, Vaishnava means other than beggars or women hunters or drug addicts. So only people who were considered less intelligent, they would be becoming Vaishnavas. That was their philosophy. So Bhadralokas, they called it Bhadralokas. And what to say, Britishers who were anyway brainwashing people and telling to Indians that their culture is so low. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur had a lot of challenges. But then he told Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati that you should strongly oppose all other nonsense philosophies. I had to be mild to accommodate everyone so that at least some movement can be started. But now you should be very, very strong. And that's why Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has in his mantra, Rupanaga Vriddha Siddhanta Santahare. So he was like a brave lion. Rather, when he was defeating, so one of his you can say successes, this man in Midnapur, is near to Kharagpur Midnapur district. So there was a big debate of who is great, Brahmanas or Vaishnavas. So first of all, Brahmanas spoke out, Brahmanas are so great. And when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, actually there was Bhaktivinoda Thakur who was supposed to go for the debate. But then Bhaktivinoda Thakur became sick. At the same time, actually, his own guru, Bipin Bihari Goswami, he was from the side of Brahmanas. He was initiating guru. So that's the reason Bhaktivinoda Thakur didn't appear there, because he had to do debate with his guru. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati went. So he wrote an article, he showed to Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, you go. So for 2 days around, these Brahmanas spoke out glory of who is Brahmana. And when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's turn came, first day he was also glorifying all the Brahmanas. All the Brahmanas became so happy. So these Brahmanas were the ones who were eating fish, breaking all 4 principles. At the same time, they were saying they are Brahmanas. So when they had their own glory, they thought this man seems to be in our own side. We didn't know that how glorious we are. This fellow is telling us how glorious we are. So that was day 1. Second day of the debate, he spoke who is a Brahmana. Who can be called as Brahmana? And then Brahmana started sweating. Because Brahmana is not just by birth. Brahmana sort of called as Brahmana. Yasya lakshanam proktam pumsa varnavi vanjikam yad annantra apidasyate tatte neva vinadasya. So a person should be known by his lakshan, by his qualities. If qualities of a Brahmana is visible in a Sudra, then a Sudra is called a Brahmana. And if Brahmana is showing the quality of Sudra, then he is called a Sudra. So he is known by qualities, not by birth. This is a verse by Narad Muni. He speaks to Yudhishthira Maharaj. So he started quoting, and all the people start sweating. And on the last day, when he started proving how Vaishnava is so superior to Brahmana, so many quotes were he started quoting one by one. That how Sat karma nipuno vipro mantra tantra visada avaishnav guru na sat vaishnav sapacho guru. So Brahmana who is expert in mantra, tantra and all these things, if he is not devotee of Vishnu, he cannot become a guru. But even if somebody is born in the family of dog eaters, but now he has become a Vaishnava, he is following all the principles properly, he is a devotee of Krishna, he can be accepted as guru. So many quotes he was giving. And toward the end of the whole assembly, the thousands of people had gathered. They became such a fan of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati that they all came to take dust off his lotus feet. And the police officers there were so fearful that instead of taking the dust, they would take his feet away also. So they caught Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, kept him in a room, told him to put his water in a bucket, and then they sprinkled water all over everywhere. So that's how Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati became so popular. But then when he was defeating everyone, he had created so many enemies that at a point of time, some Brahmana had planned to kill him. So that time Bhaktivinoda Thakur told to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati that you should do nice bhajan so that you can get spiritual strength to conquer all these people. And that is the time for 10 years continuously he was chanting. So whenever it would rain, he would carry the umbrella, he would continue chanting. How much would he eat? He would eat like a cow. Put his hand at the back, and whatever comes in once by putting in the mouth, he would eat that much only. Every day. So such a tapasya. But then whatever Bhaktivinoda Thakur had established by that time was getting dismantled. Rather, one of the person who was very concerned was like one of the preachers in one of the groups. So he thought only one person can save this movement, that is Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And when he came to Navadip, he saw Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati is not there. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was taking bath in Ganga. And then he said that the movement of Lord Chaitanya is getting dried away. Please do something. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was in such a mood, he said, who said it is getting dried away? Can't you see Panchatattva? They are preaching all over the world. Can't you see how Lord Chaitanya is dancing so beautifully and just by glancing making so many devotees? And this fellow thought, ye bhi gaya. He's gone. But after 10 years of, it's like he completed his whole vow. That time, whole Guru Parampara appeared in front of him. And they said, enough of your bhajan. Don't chant more. We are told like, no, we have to tell, please chant more, please chant more. Still people don't chant. But now Guru Parampara said, don't chant more, enough of your chant. Now you just go out and preach. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, I have not connected with the world for last 10 years. I have no money, I have no resources, how will I preach? So entire Guru Parampara along with Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, they came and said, don't worry, we will supply you all the necessary things. You just go out and preach. And that is the time, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati again came and knocked the door of same person who came so many years ago, hoping that this person will save the movement of Lord Chaitanya. And then he said, I am here. And at that time, how he opened this center in one older Junction Road in Calcutta. So there's like a remarkable place where the movement of Lord Chaitanya again became revived. And then he had around 50,000 disciples, 50,000 initiated disciples. Single-handedly made 64 body amounts. He sent even his disciple to the west. And then finally we had Sri Prabhupada going to the west on 13th August 1965. So he boarded a Jaladuta from Khidirpur dock in Calcutta and established the Krishna consciousness movement all over the world. And Krishna consciousness moment also went through so many phases. That's why the current phase which world is seeing now is the best phase for practicing Krishna consciousness. So if we think we can't practice Krishna consciousness now, I think there can't be a better time than this. So we are in the most fortunate moment of the entire history. Krishna appears once in one day of Brahma. Lord Krishna appears same time in Kali Yuga. And he gives the highest philosophy among all the philosophies of creation. And among that time also, current time is the best time. So if not now, then when? So that is the best time for us to accept Krishna consciousness and breathe Krishna consciousness. So that's how we learned today that so many people, so many entities, among them, who is the most fortunate? Human beings. Among human beings also, majority of the people are agnostics, knowingly or unknowingly. They have nothing to do with God. Some people are atheists. And there are a lot of theistic philosophies among them who are Abrahamic religions are many. But they don't have sometimes answer to some normal questions. And that's why people don't become like so satisfied. That's why people become pretty materialistic. Either in the name of religion or not in the name of religion. But then more evolved is the Vedic philosophy. Now in Vedic philosophy also there are many people who are semi-gods. Semi-god. There are many people who are demigod worshippers. Among demigod worshippers also, then we have different better than that is those who are Vaishnavas. And Vaishnava philosophy also, it got slowly evolved till we got the philosophy of Lord Chaitanya. And after Lord Chaitanya came also, the way things were getting promoted, current time is the best time. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur came, yet so much opposition. Bhakti Saraswati established in India, and now Prabhupada established centers all over the world. So current time is the best time in this way. So anybody has any questions?
So you are explaining about this philosophy. So I have two questions. So why, like, God himself, he has sent, like, Adi Shankaracharya, Mahaprabhu, and like all Guru Parampara. But why, like, he was contradicting his own philosophy? Like, all men were sent by him. One was like Shaivism, another Vaishnavism. So why there was a contradiction for like own philosophy? That is one. And second one is.
Okay, let us answer one by one.
Okay.
So very good question. Lord came as Lord Buddha and he spoke some philosophy, and then he broke his own philosophy, destroyed his own philosophy, established and sent Lord Shiva. And then slowly that's how at the end Lord Chaitanya came. So why did he have to destroy his own philosophy? Actually, it's not destroying his own philosophy or defeating his own philosophy. That is called evolution. We find such an evolution within Bhagavad Gita also. That's called Yuva ladder. So first Krishna says, my dear Arjuna, fight. If you win in the war, you will get glory. If you die, you will go to heaven. In this way, he is recommending Arjuna to fight so that he can be promoted in this life or in the heavenly planets. And same Krishna, when he goes a little forward, he says, my dear Arjuna, when your mind has crossed over the dense forest of fruitive activities, then you will be established in the self. That means he is condemning something which he established a few verses back. So that is how it's not destroying, it's like evolving. So Lord evolved the things slowly, gradually. I hope this answers your question. Yeah. Second question.
Second question, Prabhuji, like whoever has preached during their philosophy, during their time. So people have not absorbed whatever they are saying like fully. People took them as per their convenience. For example, even Adi Shankaracharya, we have heard him from maybe senior devotees, right? During his last moment in this world. So he said, Bhaja Govindam Murnati. So still people today, like they are worshipping Lord Shiva. That is not like they are doing anything wrong. But still, they don't believe we should worship to Lord Krishna also. That means people started taking as per their convenience. What suits to them, they will do that only. Whatever their master or earlier preachers have told. So how can we, like as an individual or suppose in our family or as a successor, what should we tell them, okay, this should be good, or what should we allow? Like, okay, this should only we should follow, like fully or partially. How can we judge them?
Okay. So that's a good question. You were saying that's like now there's so many varieties of philosophies, different people, and different people accept different philosophies as per their conveniences. So if we have our own family members, then how do we convince them that we are right and this and that? So you have to understand one thing, that all these philosophies or many of these philosophies are given in the Vedic scriptures also. And the reason these philosophies are given because Vedas are extremely accommodative. They are extremely accommodative. Like tomorrow mostly we'll have this class on 6 systems of philosophy also. Among these 5 systems of philosophy, they are not totally theistic. And some of the philosophies, among these 5 philosophies, are more atheistic than the best of the atheistic philosophies today. So even the best of the atheistic philosophies are accommodated in the Vedas, so that everybody can be under the one big umbrella of the Vedic scriptures. If you are an impersonalist, you have a space. If you are an atheist, you have a space. If you are a karmakandi, you have a space. Practically everybody has a space. So in this way, Lord allows that everyone to take the shelter so that slowly they can evolve. Because when people are taking shelter of these 5 philosophies, Vyasadeva defeats them in his Vedanta Sutra at the end. So in this way, they can become evolved. Now, when they're in the home, then we have to be very careful. Especially superiors, generally it is not good to preach to them. Because those who are superiors, they have seen you naked when you were small, your parents. So for parents to hear it's like too difficult. Like one person who always sleeps in my class is my father. And after the whole class, he gives the feedback also. Like one of the reasons why I am speaking so slowly now is my father. So he would sleep in the class and say that actually you speak so fast that people go to sleep. And recently only I am coming from home. Now also he was sleeping. So they can't hear. They can't hear. So we can preach to only those people who are submissive. At the same time, we have to see that the fabric of the family should not break. So preaching to the family members has to be done with a great care. Great care. So if we are not careful, it may break the family fabric. So we want to make them devotees. We have to understand not everybody will become devotee. And we have to understand one more thing is that we have to allow them to take their own time to accept philosophy. So what we should do is, we should do our responsibilities even in a better way. Because they will learn philosophy by our character. So if they see changes in us, they'll say this philosophy is proper philosophy. If they see that no, we have become very proud, Like sometimes young students they learn philosophy and they become very proud and they go to their home. तुम पापा नहीं तुम पापी हो, तुम माँ नहीं तुम माया हो. Parents become so annoyed. So if you are really a son, then no, you behave in a proper way. Like one of the fellows said that to his mother, if you don't become Krishna conscious, you will become big in the next life. And mother said, you are already big. I'll take next life at least. The point is, if you are really practicing Krishna consciousness, then you are supposed to become a better human being. You have to become more kind, more sensitive. So if we have sensitive dealings with them, and one thing is certainly undeniable which everyone accepts is prasad. So give them prasad, if they like they can come for kirtans, don't pressurize them, allow them to grow at their own pace. So you can bring them to temple, there are some programs, and slowly people grow. We can't expect a child to immediately do B.Tech and M.Tech and immediately go for a job. So much patience is required. So similarly, we have to allow people to take their own pace, own time. So we can end here.
Scripture a very long list that itself said that this Brahmana, Vaishnava, it's all based on their qualities. But still we are not following that. Now we are following based on their birth we are following. What may be the reason for that? Is it because of they don't have knowledge?
So this happens when there is no preaching. When preaching doesn't go on over a period of time, people do start misusing the scripture. So the whole problem is when there is no training. So disappearance of Gurukul, Vedic culture, this was like a major reason why Vedic culture became diluted. So Varnashram system is the right system. When it becomes perverted, it is called a caste system. So in general, Prabhupada also says, there are great chances that a son of judge may become a judge. Because father already knows what are the competitive exams which you should crack, how you should study. But still that is not enough. That's not enough. He has to go through the whole studies, do this LLB and all other things, become an advocate and slowly, give exams and then become a judge. Then he becomes a district judge and then a high court judge. So similarly, one is fortunate and has a great chance of getting quality of that Varna if he is born in that particular family. But training is necessary. So when training is missing, then also delusions are. But anyway, nowadays I think even caste system is not like so prominent. Right? Nowadays the only system is sun gratification. The only criteria. People don't see even caste also.
So we just learned about atheistic people is not doing this work. I think nowadays we see that there's a rise in atheistic people. That's like trending nowadays. And then I've come across some atheists amongst my family and friends who say they've lost their year and year ones, and that's why I don't believe in it. So what are your tips and tricks that we can communicate with them so that we can bring them into our movement? Because they won't even enter the temple. They won't
Yeah. So first thing for them is if they have lost their love and near and dear ones and they become turned into a thief, first thing which they need is our compassion, not our logic. Because when sentiments become very overwhelming, brain doesn't work, intelligence doesn't work. So first thing we need compassion, and sometimes especially they have lost their near and dear ones very immediately, we should not just go and preach. Many times our devotees do a great mistake. Somebody has died at the young age or something like that, you start speaking, no, he's not body. I remember one of our brahmacharis, of course he went in when an old man had departed. He was around maybe 84, 85. And his wife was also around 77, 78. So this devotee gave a big lecture on how we are not body on second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And this lady was crying. So our brahmachari was speaking. माताजी आप क्यों रो रही हैं? हमने बताया ना हम शरीर नहीं हम आत्मा है, आत्मा तो चला गया, आत्मा चली गई है, आप क्यों रो रही हैं? And this Mataji said, Prabhu, if you tell me to sit in Vyasa sir, I can speak double the philosophy you have spoken. But only when you get married and you stay with someone for such a long time, then you can understand the pain of separation. So the first thing we should do is be little sensitive. And after they're sensitive, then we can slowly introduce, after like they are healed to a certain degree, then slowly we can give them prasad, we can introduce this law of karma, and then we can tell them that we may not be aware of what happened in the past, why we have lost some near and dear ones. But we have to understand one thing, that in this world, nobody can do any injustice to anyone, and nobody can do any injustice to us, unless until we really deserve it. But at the same time, Lord is not like a high court judge who just gives judgment. He is like a healing mother also. So sometimes mother sees that the child is naughty, and mother may like hand over him to some paid teacher who will beat the child. But afterwards, mother is the same person who would like blow the air in the hand, caress the child, and give him his own thoughts. So God is actually like that. God is actually like that. But only thing is, it takes a little time to understand. So this way you can just bring him here, tell him about law of karma, and this also heals people's problems to some extent. So you can, what we can tell you, convey to them, basic thing we have to convey to them is, we can't change our past, but we can certainly create our future. Okay, so you can hand in.
10 more minutes. We can continue.
Okay, 10 more minutes. So any questions other than they can ask? If there are no questions, then we can have questions. Yes.
If we act also, some fightings will happen. Our kindergarten teacher will be there. That time how we have to.
No, we have to be very specific. Because generally when you follow Vaishnava etiquette, there are no fights. If you pay obeisance to somebody will beat you.
We should be humble like that.
Okay. See, when we say we are acting humbly, now humbly doesn't mean that somebody comes with a sword to cut your throat and you say, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, please cut it. It's not that. Arjuna, while shooting arrows, was a humble person. So humility doesn't mean that one becomes a coward. Humility means that although I have my own opinion, but I'll follow the opinion of Guru Sadhu Shastra. And whenever, even if it's my duty to punish someone, I don't punish someone thinking that I am the person who is giving a judgment. I do it as a service to that person. I'll give very extreme example. Like according to the Vedas, person who has killed someone else is given a capital punishment, which is hanged. He should be killed. Otherwise, he'll suffer many more times in the hell. So when a king gives him a capital punishment, what he has in his heart is, let me punish this person, otherwise he'll have to suffer so much. So by punishing him, I am saving him from so much of suffering. So such a judgment is not out of pride, it is out of compassion. So that's why. I hope somebody can able to answer the question. Yes.
I had a one question like a few months back in my mind it was going on. After death, this is right there, right platform I think to ask this question. I was thinking in mind what will be going. Do I need to believe like Atma is there? Or I am thinking so much time. After I decided myself one answer. Like after death, like heart will stop and brain will also stop. So nothing will happen again after that. I think so. Is this correct or will Atma and everything will be there?
We are Atma.
We are the self.
So we are Atma and we never die. So we have two bodies. One body which we are seeing now is called a gross body. And there is some other body is called subtle body, which is made up of mind, intelligence and ego. So when we leave this body, we occupy another gross body where we can fulfill our remaining desires. When this body is not fit enough to fulfill our desires, then we leave this body and we occupy another body. And that is how this is called the process of transmigration. So Lord is very merciful. When we go to a shopping complex, then we can purchase this dress and that dress according to our desires. So similarly, depending on some set of desires, we got this body. Now when all those desires are fulfilled and we need some other dress, Lord will award us some other dress. But actual goal of life is to get rid of all the dresses and go back to Supreme Lord. And that will happen when we have desire to serve the Lord. So don't worry, you will never die.
One question I have, you were talking about Atma and Paramatma, about Shankaracharya. So, same thing like I posted a photo on Instagram, somebody came to me in office and was talking about like why you are doing this and something like that. Why he started doing ISKCON because he believe on Atma and Paramatma and same Shankaracharya ideology. So I was not able to understand it completely how we are different from this ideology. Shankaracharya ideology is same, like this Vatican is both the ideologies are same or what is not?
No, it's pretty different. Atma and Paramatma is not same. Even to the best of evolved situation, soul never becomes God.
So I was curious about the reference, like Shankaracharya is also a known priest kind of apart, let's say. So what is the reference? What is the kind of ideology coming from?
Okay, I think you just came to the class because we were going through the whole chain, how it is from God. So there are quotes in the scriptures which talk about similarities with God, how we are similar to God. There are verses in the scriptures which talk about differences we have with God. So what Shankaracharya did is, he overemphasized the verses which show the similarity between us and God. And he misinterpreted even the verses which talk about differences as if they are talking about that we are similar to God. Whereas Madhvacharya did the opposite. And Lord Chaitanya said, don't interpret the scriptures. Let us take the direct meaning of the scriptures. So we are simultaneously one with God, at the same time we are different from God. Qualitatively we are same, quantitatively we are different. It's like a drop of ocean has salt, ocean also has salt. So both are salty, but one is having in minute quantity, and one is having in like enormous quantity. Okay? So we can have 5 minutes before now. What's the question? Now ओम शिवराय कृष्ण कृष्ण श्रीमते नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी श्री कृष्ण